A Quiet Rune Scribe. Written by Blue Dragon 64. Chapter 15. October 15th, Tuesday. Today I'm at my desk carving my little alicorn model. This is the fourth, as in the last three I've broken or messed up the carving. I've been carving a lot, and I'm having a surprising amount of fun. I even bought some wood to make a small shelf to hold my carvings. Checking the time, I stop carving and spend an hour meditating on the space around me. I try to feel the empty space as it moves. I've been doing this for several months now, and I've had some small progress in my efforts, as I'm now able to vaguely feel the space around me without having to give my complete concentration. It still takes a massive effort to feel anything, but I can now slow down and try to feel the space around me with more detail than before, along with what I can vaguely feel when things move. I can only barely feel it, but it's definitely there. Even when I started feeling this, I start moving things around me to train my senses. The other things I've been working on is my anti-pest spell. I've made some progress on the part that target pests, using some bugs and a slug as tests. I've gotten the spell to start freezing them. It's a little fast for my liking, as it drains too much magic right now, but I can work on that, and beyond that, the spell is looking well within the realm of possibility for me. It's still fairly early in the day, and after my meditation, I don't have much to do, so I decide to go to the library to find some new books to read. As I walk through the shelves, I pass many different types of books before stopping at the section with plant books. I grab an interesting-looking book about medical herbs before finding a table to read and settle in for a nice read. After a while, I've read through the book. I find several herbs that I may want to buy or find, as they have some interesting effects. There's one in particular that I really want, and that's the white rose. The white rose is much like the false daisy in that it's almost identical to a normal rose bush. The main difference is that the plant's name. The flowers of this rose bush are white and have a magic property. The magic they possess is simple in practice, but complex in function. When the white rose is exposed to cold environments, it will absorb the cold, protecting the plant from the cold, and through an unknown process converts it into ice affinity magic. This is massive, as the plant is essentially converting a temperature difference into magic. If I could find out how it works, I could make some absurd things. Even if the process is slow, I could just scale it up to increase the effects. If it's possible to create a spell that does the same thing as this plant, I could place it somewhere cold and get an increase in magic regeneration for gems and ponies. There are only a few ways that can help some pony regain magic faster, and all are very rare. But objects that can regenerate or collect large amounts of magic are even rarer, as I can only really think of one, and that's the Crystal Heart. And that thing uses love magic for an entire city for power. So, I'm definitely going to need to see if I can get a white rose bush for research. Beyond that, a few of the other plants in the book look rather useful. As I finish the book on herbs, I wonder what other books I should look for next, and I decide on a topic that I've been curious about for some time now. Illusion magic is an obscure branch of magic as it uses both high-level math and complex and uncommon symbols. I find a book on it and start reading. From what I've read from this book, and what I've learned while researching other magic, that illusion magic tends to lean towards two paths. The first is physical illusions. This type is best described as light constructs creating an illusion around the target. And then there are mental illusion spells. This branch is much, much rarer, as very few even know one or two basic spells of this type. Mainly because it's illegal to use that type of spell. I only know its name because the book I'm reading mentions it in passing. Mental magic seems rare in general for this world, as I've only found two spells. One to help with meditation, and the other to help calm some pony down. But beyond that, it's one of the branches of magic that's dwindled with time. And after taking some notes, I place the book on herbs back and check out the book on illusions before returning to my room. I check on my plants, giving in the iron oak some soil before I go back to carving. I spend the next hour or so chipping away at the wood, trying to be careful not to break this one. As I carve the pony figure out of wood, I slowly scrape pieces off bit by bit, and after a few hours, I have a decent carving of an alicorn. It's still a little crude, but I'm improving. I place the half-done carving on the shelf and grab the book on illusions and start reading more about them. Illusion spells seem fairly standard to what you imagine them to be, creating things you can see but not touch. A good way to look at this is magic holograms, and there are two main ways to go about making an illusion. The first is creating a spell to show a certain thing, like a large monster or monster using math and only a few symbols. This method takes less magic as you're mostly using math to create an image of whatever you want. The downside is that to change it, you need a new spell. The other method is to use mostly symbols and less math. This makes the spell much more flexible, allowing you to have the illusion to be controllable to a degree. The downside to this is the power cost increase exponentially higher with the changes you make. But if you have enough magic, you can make just about anything you want. I look at my gems, still having my large ruby, along with 4 small sapphires, and 2 rubies that I have. But I used one to make a shield around the black egg. I grab a sapphire and place it on the desk, and check the box to make sure I have the spell right. The spell I'm going to be enchanting into this gem is a small illusion spell that lets you draw in a small area. It's only about a foot of space, and it only has red, blue, and green to draw with, but I'm curious how it looks, and I have a few spare gems. The spell is complex for how little it does, and it takes me several minutes, a good amount of my magic, and a few attempts to enchant the sapphire. After I finish, I activate the enchantment and move up my hoof, and a line made of red light follows it. I spent some time getting used to the enchantment and tried drawing with it after a while. I've made a 3D cube that I can rotate and change as I want. I continue to mess with the enchantment for the next hour, drawing and erasing different things. After I have my fun, I turn the enchantment off and store the gem. I spend a few moments cleaning up my workspace. I'm hungry and I don't feel like cooking today, so I'm going to a restaurant I found by accident a few days ago. So I grab my bag and leave my room. I move to the city and find the place I'm looking for, the Cozy Clover. It's a strange name for a restaurant that serves mostly bat ponies and griffins, but they do serve fish, and I've been looking for a place that sells cooked meat. As I enter the restaurant, I see Pony, who greets me. "Hello, sir. Can I get you a table?" "Yes, thank you." They lead me to a table, and I take my seat before they pass a menu to me. "A waiter will be with you shortly." I nod my thanks and start reading through the menu, and after picking what I want, I wait a while for the waiter. The waiter is a bat pony mare and comes up to me. "Hello, sir. What can I get you?" "A grilled fish sandwich with some hay fries, please." The waiter looks a little surprised at my order, but writes it down anyway. "I'll have it out for you when it's ready." She walks away and goes into the back, and after 20 minutes, I have my food placed in front of me, and I start eating right away. The fish is nice and crispy with a lovely sauce that goes well with it. I get a few odd looks from the other ponies in the restaurant. It's a bit uncomfortable, but I can't blame them. It's not often you see an earth pony eating meat, let alone enjoying it as much as I am. I take my time eating before I finish, and after paying, I leave heading to the park, and I want to do some drawing in the clear weather. I sit on the park bench and take out my sketchbook and start drawing a large tree in front of me, slowly drawing its trunk and roots, and after getting a decent sketch of the tree, I start drawing the background of a few bushes and walkways, along with a small pond nearby. But I stop as I hear some pony's hoofsteps. I turn and see a pony I recognize, and have met in this very park, Shiny Armor. I walk up to him and greet him. "Hey, nice to see you again, Shining. How have you been?" He takes a seat next to me. "Same, Shade. I've been busy, to say the least. I don't think I've had a quiet day for a month at this point." He says back, his voice having a tired tone to it. "What have you been doing, if you don't mind me asking?" "Guard training. I've been in the camp for tryouts." "You're planning on becoming a guard? Good for you." He nods. "Yeah, I'm excited to start in a few months, but it's just the training that's been a slog, and I'm starting to wonder if I really want this." "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step." He turns to me and gives me an odd look before chuckling. "Well, I certainly expect that, Colt. You're just a fountain of wisdom, huh?" "I try." We spend the next hour talking about things, mostly work and stupid things like the fact that he likes comics. I swear I mentioned them once, and he had to stop him after he went on a 15-minute rant about a character getting retconned out of the comic he liked, but talking to him was enjoyable. After a while, we had to go, and I left the park. I drew for some time before also leaving the park and heading home. After getting into my room, I always checked on my plants, and after giving them water and shifting them around, so they all have enough light. I sit down on my desk and start working on my pest spell. Right now, I'm working on the part of the spell that targets the bugs. I don't want the spell to spread cold over an area, but selectively target and freeze pests only, leaving the plants unharmed. I've figured out how to target just bugs, but not how to keep the cold from spreading afterwards. As I write the math equations, I slowly make small progress in my work. I managed to get the spell's magic cost down by slowly freezing the effect, and I've even gotten the area effect to a little over an acre of land, enough to cover a small crop plot. This won't be perfect, but it's far better than nothing. It should only be a few weeks before I can finish and send the spell to Celestia, so she can get some ponies to test it. After getting some spell work done, I go through the nightly ritual of showering and going to bed. But right as I'm about to head to bed, I see the black egg shake a slight amount. The sudden movement made me think I was seeing things, but it definitely moved. I don't know what's in the black egg, but I now know that it's definitely alive if nothing else. I checked the shield around the egg, and after finding it work correctly, I head to bed. This black egg is the Chekhov's gun in this whole thing. And as many users have said, that they enjoy this series for its calmness. And honestly, I can understand that, especially when, like, things are heating up in TCP. Your Human and You has had its really, action moments like it is right now. So, it's completely understandable that people are like, yes, not having doom and gloom at, like, the precipice. It's here. But this black egg, it's... Who knows? We're definitely gonna see. We're definitely gonna see. Who else see are my wonderful Patreons. Thank you, my tier 1s, Angel Boof, CH, Dreamless Portal, HKH4, Hyperlink, Jason, Night Game, Lord High, Lost Nebula, Micario, Michael McDonald, Pony Entertainment, Redeemer of Dark, and Julius Costa Peters. My tier 2s, Captain Blue, Shoutout to Until Triple, Andrew Ingram, Chaotic Mist, Kalazaza, Danish Dash, Jay the Firewolf, DJMX 2000, Elemental Wolf, Soul Eclipse, Weewoo, David M. Coleman, Dioxetine, Mackenzie McCollins, G-Man 121 Garza, H1 Wolf King, Can Panzer, Mr. Crazy Deacon, Nobody, Nocturne, Rocky 2522, Six, Potato 20, Saint Gunk, Miani Dragon Wolf, Sword Brother and Mordred, and Volio Cod. A big thank you to my previous 9 tiers, Dark Guardian, Danish Dash, Maverick, and User 1842, and a big thank you to my current ones, Bis Eclipse and Silent Titan. I appreciate your support so much, and it means a ton to me. That aside, however, this has been Firehearth. Have a wonderful day.